Good afternoon. This is John Sluice with Entrust CPA coming here to you with some continually late breaking information here related to this second round of the PPP Stimulus Act. There is a ton of things packed within the second round of stimulus, and so this is not the only thing that's out there. In fact, there are many other potential credits and tax deductions and stimulus payments that are inside of there. I am only going to focus today on this PPP. I think this is the first and foremost that you need to be working on as far as a time-sensitive nature. This is going to be a very short video that is just telling you that the information is still coming out. They still have not released it, they being the SBA. However, what we do know at this point is that the applications for it open up on Wednesday. So today is Monday. They open up on Wednesday, the 13th. That is very quick. Now, I don't know whether this is going to be like that first round where it goes out in a couple days, or if it's going to be like the other round where it went and it still had some funding. So I don't know if there's an unbelievable amount of urgency here or if it's going to give us a little bit more time. But right now, I would assume, and you should plan on, that you should have some urgency. This is big dollars. If you as a business owner have employees, you need to be thinking about this. You need to be looking at this and probably spending the next couple days really analyzing and going through this. Like I mentioned in previous videos, if you've qualified for the first round PPP loan or you looked at qualifying for the first round PPP, think about it again here. That's going to be your qualifier. If you had wages, if you pay people, that's going to be a qualifier. There's going to be some additional things that you need to, hoops that you need to, qualifiers that you have to get, but the first round is payroll. This is the second stimulus that's going to be going in through. It is going to be forgivable again if you qualify. So this is huge. This is just like the impact that the first round PPP had. Again, it's just a refresh of what it was there. So for many business owners, you saw how pivotal that was for you as a business owner that got you through those tough months. It's coming out again. So you need to be looking and focusing on this. Now is what I would tell you that they added in a caveat inside of the qualifying for this PPP loan that says your revenue had to have decreased by 25% quarter over quarter. So I'm going to explain that in a second. The first thing I want to explain is revenue. So we don't know whether revenue is accrual-based or receipts-based. They haven't come out with that guidance yet. I am operating on the assumption that we're going to potentially look at both to see, focus, if you're a cash-based taxpayer, look at receipts. We could also look at accrual as well. The first round, what ended up coming out is they allowed both, whichever was more favorable for you. So I would tell you that you should be looking at both of these, but really focus on cash receipts for most businesses that are watching this video and that you're looking at this. Is you're going to want to look at your cash receipts. And if your cash receipts for a given quarter dropped by more than 25% compared to that same quarter a year ago, you're going to qualify. For most businesses, it's going to be your second quarter 2020 compared to second quarter 2019. It can be the third quarter of 2020 compared to the third quarter of 2019, but most are going to be the second quarter. So again, you're comparing a particular quarter in 2020 compared to that same quarter in 2019. You need to be looking and focusing on this. So look at your QuickBooks file to make sure that those receipts are accurate. If you're close, take a dive in and make sure, did you really account for those properly? You know, we typically look at things on an annual basis for most of the clients that we work with. And we focus on quarter end, but not a ton. And so this is where you really need to dig in. If you're close, you need to really look at, did that receipt really come in on June 30th, or maybe was it a July 1st? Or did it come in, what we thought was July 1st, but really was June 30th? So you're going to take those. You can't make up numbers. Please don't hear me say that. Don't fiddle or fudge on these things. But if you need to dive in and look at some of these, take an assessment to make sure that your quarterly accounting was done properly. We typically don't see that and don't focus on that, so you really need to take some time to do that. This is the qualifier that you are going to have as to whether or not you qualify for this second round of PPP. Because when you go to the bank, this is through the bank, just like that first round, they're going to have to make sure, they're going to ask you and probably ask you to prove did you have that drop in revenue or those receipts? So you're going to have to show them, probably show them QuickBooks reports or show them our reports or your internal reports, something along those lines to show why did receipts go down. So that's what you need to be focusing on. The key here is that it opens up on Wednesday. So you need to be looking at your receipts and you need to be in communication with your banker, likely the banker that you went through this first round that you're going to be doing, and calling them and talking with them and being in communication. The application is now out. The SBA did release it this weekend, and so that is out. Now some banks are going to have their own applications. Likely the larger banks, say the Chase, the Huntingtons, those typically have their own interface that are going to be making. Some of the smaller banks are going to just use the actual application. Not sure those details yet. They're still coming through. Each bank is going to be different, but you need to be prepping yourself for this. This is big. This is something that you need to be looking at and need to be focusing on. We're going to be looking through these to the extent we can. We're here to help through this process. We know this is on top of everything else that's coming, year-end taxes and year-end accounting, but this is significant. You need to be looking at these. You need to be thinking about it. Give us a call if you have questions. I want to talk through these with you to see if it applies, to see if it doesn't, see if you should be looking at it. This is important. Give us a call. We look forward to talking to you. Thank you.